Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today is the Divine Masculine weekly reading for November 6th through the 12th. I do apologize for being late. I'm still catching up from a day in Vegas out here. So yeah, just bear with me guys. So we'll get into it. So the weekly lesson is the Temperance card. Don't mind my nails. Once again, we already know I'm bad at that. So you guys' lesson is to really balance out fire and water. The water being the feminine element, the fire being the masculine element, excuse me. So obstacles with this lesson. We have the Two of Cups, and then we have the Seven of Wands. So there is actually an imbalance in the Divine Masculine's energy right now. And not to say that everybody is balanced in the same way, but kind of picking up on with these two cards is that you guys are more in your masculine energy, more in your ego energy, which is more action, drive, focus, determination. And the feminine energy is compassion, empathy, patience, fluidity, creativity. I mean, both are creative regardless, but you know, there's an imbalance. So either you guys are being too feminine in this dynamic or you're being too masculine. So either you're being too emotionally driven or too ego driven, because that's kind of what I get from fire is just ego with the masculine energy. So how to face this challenge, we have the Ten of Pentacles, and then we have my favorite card in the deck, the Empress. So you're being called to set daily habits to stabilize you in both ways. So you need to figure out what nourishes you, because the Empress is all about nourishment, right? She's ruled by Venus. She has the symbol of Venus right there. Sorry if I'm shaking, I had coffee. But you know what nourishes you in your daily habits to help balance out and temper these energies. So that can, you know, when we think about what nourishes us, we need mind, body, soul. So what can you do on a daily that nourishes your mind? Can you read books? Can you do some research? Because that nourishes it. For the physical, can you eat healthier? Can you change your diet up? Can you start going to the gym or getting into yoga or even dancing? And then on the spiritual, can you start doing meditations? Can you start journaling, or whatever that might look? That can also be like cleansing baths, or just going to the park and laying in the grass and connecting to earth. It's kind of setting you up, like what can you do that nourishes you, because both parties need to be nourished, right? We have the divine masculine energy and the feminine, and every single person has both of those. And I've said this before, but we're always tempering those energies because we need both to support us in our daily lives. So what that would look like would be like the divine masculine would be a house, right? The foundation, the structure, the building, the protection. Yeah. And then whatever's inside the house, you can look at the divine feminine energy, because she's the one that will make the house a home. The house is the protection. The house is the foundation, the security, the stability, where she can feel safe to create a home. She can feel safe to create with her, house decor. She can feel safe to cook. She can feel safe to, do whatever it is she does. So that's kind of what I like to describe as the divine masculine and feminine energy. It is this safe container for the divine feminine to be who she is. So if we're thinking about it in a chakra system kind of standpoint, the root chakra is our stability, our structure, our foundation. That's how we connect to the earth. So the root chakra, you could look at as a masculine energy. And then next we have the sacral chakra, which is below our belly buttons, which is the water energy, right? And that is our emotions. This is where we have our creative energy. This is where we, feel emotionally safe to open up to other people. And then, it just rises from there. So you can also kind of look at it in that way. We need both to be able to function completely. And then even as I'm talking about the chakras, because those of you that know about Kundalini energy, it's serpent energy. So we have two serpents, feminine, masculine, that intertwine. So even in the Two of Cups, it has that caduceus with the wings, because that represents the levels that need to occur in your chakra system to be able to hit this level of ascension, which is your crown chakra, or, you know, any of the higher chakras. But you see, they're both grounded in their own energy, and then they're rising up, bringing in the emotions, and then all of that. So you need both, you know, simple as that. So figuring out what kind of things you can do in your daily life to constantly nurture these energies in a harmonious way, constantly tempering them to where you can live an abundant life like this Ten of Pentacles and like the Empress, because, you know, she is stability. Venus is all about luxury and nurturing and, you know, that comfort. So with the outcome, we have strength. And then we have the Knight of Cups. So even just talking about balancing these energies, you know, the Strength card is ruled obviously by Leo, for those of you who don't know. And, you know, Venus is supposed to be like the heart, like, you know, she's all about love and all of that. So it's like you really need both of these energies to work in harmony, to be able to connect to your heart, to be able to feel your heart and be compassionate and lead with empathy and just live in a vibration of love. And the Knight of Cups is having the strength and courage to blend these emotions, or not emotions, but energies. Because, you know, this is something I had to go through personally last year. I really wanted somebody that would be a safe container for me and lead me and motivate me, so I wasn't so in my emotions, because I was much more in my divine feminine energy last year, to where I had to go on a journey. And this was almost previous to my dark night of the soul, so it was very simultaneous. But to where I had to become my own inner divine masculine. I had to really temper that energy to where they could live in harmony, to where I could take action in my day-to-day life and also be able to nurture my emotional world, my spiritual world, to keep leading a life of abundance and, you know, all that good shit. But it is a journey that takes strength, because you have to recognize the patterns, you see? So it's like, for example, how they always say that when you're looking for a partner, you're looking for somebody that was similar to your mom or dad. It's kind of almost like that. Whatever you look for in a partner, you have to become that. But this takes strength, because sometimes we don't know what it is we want in a partner. So that takes some reflection, hence the Knight of Cups over here. It takes some digging into our emotions. It takes us looking into the mirror and saying, this is what I want. This is what I lack. How can I make this, how can I have this within myself? Because once you have it within yourself, it will match your external world. As we know, so within, so without, or as within, so without, as above, so below. So I also pulled crystal cards. So we have Petrified Wood, Ancestors. And then we have Awakening Crystal, Emotional Healing. So this is kind of everything that I was talking about. It's going to take emotional healing, because how I just even gave that example of parents, you have to realize, like, what was the pattern, right? You have to realize what you lack to understand. So what pattern can you recognize in your family? You know, what patterns have you seen your parents go through? Or maybe if you had a single household, or a single parent household, what was it that you were lacking when you were being raised? And, you know, how was your parent raised? Did they experience similar things? Is this a pattern that happened in your family that now you're the one that's realizing it, and you see yourself dealing with the repercussions of this, you know, generational curse, as everyone's calling it? So that's kind of where you need strength in this journey, because it does take strength to be honest with yourself, to be honest about, you know, maybe my mother wasn't as nurturing as I wanted her to be. So how can you sit here and nurture it? But then you also see the pattern of your mother wasn't nurturing because her mother didn't nurture her properly. You know what I mean? So it's literally like a pattern or a ripple effect or a domino effect. That doesn't mean that it's their fault, but because you can see the pattern, you're the one that can break it. And this is where the emotional healing comes in, because it does, you know, it's a pattern. So to be able to heal the pattern and heal the emotions and the traumas that reside with that pattern, you have to first recognize it, acknowledge it, learn from it, and actually take action to break it. So this is where the strength comes in, because each step of the way of this journey to properly balance your inner divine masculine and feminine energy, it will take strength. It will take strength to look at the skeletons in the closet, to look at the waterfall. And I say waterfall because the Knight of Cups, it always reminds me, whoever watched Naruto, there's one episode where he has to fight himself when he's with Killer Bee, and he's fighting himself in a waterfall that is literally fighting your shadow self, fighting your inner demons, you know, and you treat them and respect them with love. So this is kind of also with the ancestors. You have to kind of uncover all the skeletons in the closet, dig up all your demons, and face them and love them and figure out what it is that you can give them, which is in turn giving to yourself. And I feel like that was a very kind of like, I don't know, I tried to simplify that as much as possible, so I hope I didn't lose anybody with that example, because I do want to do another video on shadow work, because that's a great shadow work explanation. But the divine masculine and feminine energy is kind of almost a separate journey. But in a sense, they're kind of not as at the same time. So it's like you have the balancing of your inner feminine and masculine, your inner child journey, then your shadow work journey. But all of those have a shadow aspect to them. So that's kind of why I brought that example up. So I hope I didn't lose or confuse anybody. But yeah, so just figuring out what daily routines you can implement that will bring in this harmonious energy that you guys are needing at this time. So I wish you strength during your healing journey and your process. You can even call on your ancestors to help reveal these patterns. If you're kind of stuck or you're having trouble, you can ask them to reveal things to you through your dreams, or just journal to connect with them. But yeah, I wish the divine masculine a gorgeous week ahead. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I am still available for personal oracle and tarot readings along with distance Reiki sessions. So be sure to hit me up and book with me. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.